Imagine this scene late at night. The entire apartment is plunged into absolute silence, broken only by the occasional distant sound of a car passing by or the ticking of a clock. You've been sound asleep in your bed for a long time, completely unaware. Meanwhile, your parrot sits perfectly still on the highest spot in the room, whether it's the curtain rod, the top of the wardrobe, or the chandelier right under the ceiling. One eye is closed, the other is wide open, carefully watching your bed. He is not in a deep, continuous sleep. He is observing, monitoring the environment, scanning the room for any changes. And he does this almost every night while you remain completely unaware. This is not fiction, not imagination, and not a coincidence. This is the real, hidden nighttime life of your parrot, a life that runs parallel to yours. Hey everyone, welcome to the channel Me and My Pets. Today we're finally diving into one of the most mysterious, little-known, and truly fascinating topics in the world of pet parrots: where and how our feathered friends actually sleep. What you learn in this video will most likely surprise you, make you look at your pet's behavior in a completely new way, and possibly even change some of your habits in caring for him. You might start treating him with even more respect, because a parrot's nighttime life is a completely separate, parallel world that most owners don't even suspect exists, even though they've lived side by side with the bird for years and think they know it very well. Most people who get budgies, cockatiels, cockatoos, macaws, amazons, or other parrots think roughly the same thing. Put the cage in a convenient spot, cover it with a thick cloth, turn off the lights, and the bird sleeps peacefully until morning. Simple, logical, and predictable. But the reality, as is often the case with parrots, turns out to be much more complex, interesting, surprising, and sometimes even a little mystical. Your parrot, regardless of species or age, leads a true double life. During the day, he is cheerful, active, talkative, demands attention, plays, interacts with you, repeats words, tricks, and sounds. But when night falls and the lights go out, he returns to the very ancient and powerful instincts of his wild ancestors who lived in the tropical forests of South America, Australia, and Africa thousands of years ago. And these instincts have not disappeared, even if your pet was born in a home aviary a few years ago and has never seen the jungle. Let's begin our detailed journey with how parrots sleep in the wild. In their natural habitat, parrots almost never use tree hollows or nests for sleeping. Nests are used exclusively for breeding and raising chicks. For daily sleep, adult birds choose the thinnest, most flexible, and strongly swaying branches at the very tops of tall trees. Why exactly these spots? Because any approach by a predator, whether a snake, owl, wildcat, monkey, or other dangerous animal, will immediately cause the thin branch to shake strongly. This instantly wakes the parrot and gives him critical seconds to fly away and escape. This survival mechanism has been perfected over millions of years of evolution and still works flawlessly, even in home conditions. But the most incredible scientific discovery about how parrots sleep is a special method called Unihemispheric slow-wave sleep. This is when one hemisphere of the brain fully rests and recovers, while the other remains active and awake. Accordingly, one eye is closed and the other stays open and constantly scans the surroundings for any danger. Research conducted by the renowned ornithologist Niels Rattenborg and his team in Germany, published in the prestigious scientific journal Animal Behavior, convincingly proved that parrots can consciously switch which hemisphere of the brain is resting at any given moment, depending on which side a potential threat might come from. This is a truly unique adaptation that helps them survive in the complex and dangerous conditions of predator-filled tropical forests. Now, let's transport ourselves to an ordinary city apartment. What happens when you turn off the lights, cover the cage, and go to sleep in another room, or even in the same one? Your parrot does not immediately fall into a deep sleep. He may take a long time choosing the safest and most comfortable spot. Many birds completely refuse to sleep inside the cage and instead prefer the highest points in the room. the top of the wardrobe, the curtain rod, the chandelier, the top of the door, a bookshelf, or special perches you've installed for them. They are literally trying to recreate those high branches from the wild. Some parrots specifically wait until their owner lies down in bed, calms down, and starts breathing evenly before taking their nighttime position. This is classic flock behavior. They wait for the leader to relax first. At night, your parrot does not sleep continuously for 8 to 12 hours straight, as many mistakenly believe. He wakes up periodically, several times during the night. Sometimes he may quietly fly down and move closer to your bed, gently touch you with his beak, or make very soft, almost inaudible sounds, as if checking whether everything is okay with his flock. Many owners share in comments, forums, and private messages that they wake up in the middle of the night with the strange feeling that someone is watching them, only to discover their parrot sitting on the headboard, quietly observing in the darkness. This is not just curiosity. It is an ancient instinct to care for members of the flock, carried over into domestic life. These moments show how deeply parrots perceive us as part of their family. It is especially interesting and touching to observe the unusual and sometimes very funny positions parrots can sleep in when they feel completely safe next to their favorite person. Budgies and cockatiels most often tuck their head into the feathers on their back, but when they truly trust their human, some individuals start sleeping lying on their side or even almost on their back, fully relaxed with their feet stretched out. This is an extremely rare and very strong sign of absolute trust, and in the species known as hanging parrots, sleeping upside down like bats has been documented. This is a scientifically confirmed fact that amazes any owner and shows how diverse these birds' adaptations are. Before finally falling asleep, you often hear a characteristic rhythmic grinding sound. This is called beak grinding. The parrot slowly and methodically rubs one part of its beak against the other. This is not aggression, irritation, or a sign of any problem. It is their natural way of self-soothing, working exactly like purring in cats or rocking in babies. Ornithologists note that at this moment, stress levels drop sharply, the bird relaxes, and prepares for sleep. And during sleep, many parrots quietly mutter words, sounds, melodies, or even whole phrases they learned during the day. This happens during a special phase of memory consolidation. The brain actively processes and solidifies all the information received during a busy day. This is one of the ways parrots demonstrate their high intelligence even while sleeping. But this amazing nighttime life also has its dark, disturbing side, which many owners regularly face. You've probably encountered so-called night frights at least once, sudden nighttime panics. The parrot suddenly starts desperately thrashing around the cage, screaming loudly, banging against the bars, falling, and flying up again. The reason is often that one hemisphere of the brain is always on guard. The bird may react sharply to ultrasound from the refrigerator, Wi-Fi router, a car passing outside the window, a faint reflection of light from a street lamp, or even the movement of a shadow on the wall. Complete and total darkness in the apartment is also quite uncomfortable for them. In nature, there is always at least some moonlight or starlight. Understanding this helps avoid many stressful situations. If your parrot sometimes dozes during the day with short micro-naps lasting 10 to 20 to 30 minutes, this is completely normal and healthy behavior. This is how he compensates for nighttime awakenings. However, if the bird suddenly starts sleeping on the bottom of the cage, this is a serious warning sign. Experienced ornithologists, breeders, and veterinarians all agree that this is almost always a sign of severe stress, respiratory problems, or the beginning of an illness that needs attention as soon as possible. Do not ignore this signal. Friends, if you're listening to this video carefully and recognizing many moments from your parrot's daily behavior, please hit the like button right now. Such detailed, deep, and science-based breakdowns require a lot of time, effort, and preparation, and your support really helps the channel continue creating high-quality and useful content for parrot owners all over the world. Now let's talk about the most important and touching part, what all this nighttime behavior means personally for you and your relationship with your parrot. When your bird refuses to sleep in the cage and chooses a spot next to you, when he comes to check on you at night, when he sleeps in a strange, relaxed position only next to you, it means you have become his real family. Not just an owner or a source of food, but a full-fledged, reliable member of his flock. This deep trust is not earned in one day, not in a week, and not even in a month. It is built over years of proper communication, respect, and understanding of the bird's needs. And it can be easily lost due to wrong actions or ignoring natural instincts. Treasure this trust. That's why it's very important to properly organize your feathered friend's nighttime rest. First, don't aim for complete, absolute darkness. It's better to leave a dim nightlight with warm, soft light. Second, be sure to provide several safe high places specifically for sleeping. Special perches, platforms, or even natural branches of different thicknesses. Third, carefully observe your parrot's preferences. If he has chosen a certain spot and feels calm and confident there, don't rush to chase him away. This is his natural instinct, and it should be respected. You can also use special night covers that let in a little light. I've collected and carefully studied dozens of real stories from the internet. One girl told how her large green macaw refused to sleep in the cage for several months and slept exclusively on the curtains. At first, she was very worried and nervous, thinking she was doing something wrong. Then she started studying the topic of parrot behavior in depth and realized it was actually the highest degree of trust. Now they sleep in the same room, and the bond between them has become incredibly strong and deep. The parrot even waits specifically for his owner to get into bed before taking his favorite spot. This changed their relationship forever. Another touching story is about a young budgie who came to his owner's bed every night and very quietly muttered his name. It was so touching that the owner started recording these moments on video. It turned out the bird was not only calming himself, but also checking on the safety of his flock. There are many such stories, and each one confirms that parrots really see much more in us than just people who provide food and a cage. Parrots are truly unique, incredibly intelligent, and emotionally complex creatures. They have a high level of intelligence comparable to that of small children, a rich emotional life, and ancient instincts that continue to function even in a modern city apartment. Their nighttime world is a whole parallel layer of reality that exists alongside us every day. And when you begin to understand this world, respect it, and adapt to it, your relationship with the bird reaches a completely new, much deeper, and more harmonious level. This makes life with a parrot truly special. If you've noticed anything unusual, interesting, or even strange in your parrot's nighttime behavior, be sure to write about it in the comments below the video. Let's figure out together what it might mean in your specific case. Share this video with friends or acquaintances who also have parrots. Perhaps right now, someone really needs this important and useful information to better understand their pet. Thank you so much for taking this long nighttime journey into the secret world of parrots with me. Now, when you turn off the lights in the room, you'll know your parrot is not just sleeping. He is living his mysterious, complex, and amazing life. He is watching, he is guarding, he is caring, and most importantly, he has chosen you as his flock.